Dear Chabura, Kol HaTorah Kula, good nerve Shabbos, and we are concluding the final Perek of Hilchis Ayvdei Avodas Kochavin, idol worship, and idols. And today we're going to focus on Pas Haroish, Pas Hazakon, having side locks, having payas and a beard, which the Rambam, as I mentioned earlier, the Rambam holds that this is Midin Koimre Avodah Zara, and therefore he sticks it into Dini Avodas Kochavim, and it has halacha l'maisa nafkamina, being that it is from those dinim that have to do with Avodah Zara. Then the Taz writes that even what the Rambam wrote earlier, Malbusheim, B'chukoseyim, that there's place to be lenient if a person reizach between goyim. This does not apply if in regards to Pas HaRosh and Pas HaZakan, because it's Avodah Zara. I already quoted the Rebbe's letter in regards to some tzaddik shita that one can go on Mesiras Nefesh for a beard. So let's see it inside. Halacha Aleph Zakei L'Ged Rambam. Ein megalchem Pas HaRosh. One is not allowed to gull up. Is not allowed to shave the sides of his head, as those that served idols did, and they did it to shame their idols. Do not go around and shave off the sides of your head. Each one individually is a separate iser. If he shaved both sides, even if he did it in one swoop, and he did it with one warning, still like Yashtaim gets mankas for both of them. Whether he only took this off the payas, however he left the rest of his head, or he shaved himself bald completely. Still, loike, you'll get the same type of malchus because he transgressed by shaving off the payas. In which case did we say that a person gets malchus? That's only like all the dinim that we said. The last year's by Maisa. The person that's being shaven, is doing is being over. But the person that's being shaven, the nikaf, he's not loiki. He's obviously over a isur, but it's not. It doesn't get malchus elam kain sielam galech unless he made a movement to help the process of this giluach. And he says even more about if someone shaves off the side locks of a child, even though the child is not chayiv, he's still loike. Now halacha base. And now the Rambam is going to move into a woman, what her din is in regard to Pas HaRosh. And from here, the Rambam is going to branch off to all the din that a woman is chayiv or pater. Dr. Rambam, halacha beit. Ha'isha shegilcha Pas HaRosh. If she shaved her head, ha'isha shegilcha Pas HaRosh ish. She shaved the head of a man, which is chayiv. Oishin is galcha, or she shaved herself. She's equally pater. Shenamar. Why is she pater? It says lo sakifu Pas HaRoshechem. Do not shave the head, the sides of your head, and neither should you take off and shave the sides of your beard. And the fact that Torah put them together teaches us that anyone that it would be over on baltashchis because they have a beard is also going to be over on takif baltakif roishcha. And therefore, a lady, she doesn't have a beard, is not chayiv. And therefore, it's not chayiv, not if she shaves or not if she's shaven. Obviously, there is an issur for her to do it. The isha shein about tashkas, the fisha ein lazaken, about takif leficha chavadim. Even though generally we always say nashim bavadim uktanim, so they're in the same category. In this regard, they're not equal because the eved is chayiv about tashkas. Never that was a kabel mitzvahs. He's chayiv in all loisa says like a woman is. And leficha chavadim will be yeshlam zaken asur ba'kafa. And now the Rambam is going to zero into all the halachas that a woman is different than a man. Dr. Halacha Gimel. Kol mitzvahs loisa say Shabbat Torah, all negative prohibitions, commandments in Torah, echad anashim chayavim. They're equally chayiv aside from three. Bal tashchis, which is the koncha, that women are not chayiv. Bal takif is, we said, is in the same category, which is the payas. Or bal yitama kohen l'meis, the fact that a kohen is not allowed to get defiled and become tamei l'meis to a deceased, that does not apply to a woman kohenes, even if she's not married. The chol mitzvah say, now that one moves on. All positive commandments, she mizman l'zman, which is time-based. Chol mitzvah say shazman grama, dependent on time. The eina tedira, and it's not tedira, it's not continuous automatically, like Shabbos. Nashim Pturos, so Krishma, film, tzitzis, that they have a time limit of day, night, etc. Women are potter. The exclusion to that is chutz mikidush hayom, being mekadosh Shabbos, which is dafka betchila, v'achilas matzah b'leilei Pesach, and this separate limudim, v'achilas haPesach u'shchitasa, the mitzvah of achilas carbon Pesach, which is yudal by night, v'hakel, which once in 7 years, v'simcha, and the simcha of Yom Tiv, shanashim chayavos, that they are chayiv in it. Halacha dalet. Now, what happens if it's a suffix, if it's a man, suffix, a lady? Zok the Rambam, tumtum androgynous, a tumtum, which is someone that his private parts are concealed. It's not clear whether he's a zachar or an akeva or androgynous, which is the one that has both simanim, and hence also both of them are equally a suffix. What category he falls into under. So harei hein suffix. In that case, they have both stringency, sai of a man and sai of a woman. And on the other hand, they're obligated in all mitzvahs, even shazman grama. Because maybe they're a man. However, if they transgressed ain't loikim because it's not definite, could be their take going to be discovered to be a woman at some point, where if the simanim are nikra. Halacha, hey, want to go back for 1 second. When we said Veina Tidira, what the Rambam means with that is that any mitzvah that's not consistent every day, that a woman is also chayiv. Okay, halacha. Hey, even though she's allowed to shave the side locks of her head, she's not allowed to do that to a man. She's not allowed even to shave off one side of a child. How much is considered leaving side? Is a shear for payah of this field, a corner of the field. How many you need to know what Torah requires. So they did not give us a distinctive amount. The Shamanam Eskenenu, says the Rambam, we have accepted from generations, we have in tradition, my boyim, so ours, you have to leave at least 40 years. One is allowed to cut the payas with scissors. What was only also it says ruining, destroying. That's only done when a person shaves it off with a razor. As we discussed in regards to beard, that there are poskim we follow the Tzemach Tzedek paskins like sides with that misparayim is keim tar, and that's also halacha zayin. Derech koine oivdei Kochavin, another issur. Now we had the Vayla 2 issurim that the Rambam quoted that was due to the way the priests the idol worshiper priests, they used to act. So it says another one. We're moving on to derech koine oivdei Kochavin lahashchis on them, take off their beard. Levich also Torah lahashchis on for that precise reason. That's why Chachamim the Torah asked to shave a beard. The Chumash payas yes. But when we say you're not allowed to shave your beard, there are 5 points in the beard. Lechia elyon, the top jaw, lechia tachton miyamin. So you have the top and bottom of the jaw on the right side, and v'chem yismoil. So that's 4. V'shibos hazakon in the middle. The loikal kol peopea. Each one of these points is considered a separate isser, and therefore v'minatolan ka'achas loika chamish. You get 5 unique sets of malchus. The eina chayiv achi galchen avatar. However, as we said, you're only going to be chayiv if you do it with derech hashchasa, with a razor. Shneimar v'lois hashchas pasuk kanecha giluch shesh v'hashchasa levirim gelech skana v'misparayim be'etzem potter. Now ve'ena misgaleach loika achi sayeh. As we said earlier, in regards to hakafas or rosh nikaf, which is in regards to the payas, that only if you help, if you're just a passive participant, then you're potter. You're obviously chayiv on the lav, but you don't get malchus. Achi say until he actually actively helps. If she happens to have a beard at one of these points here, she's allowed to take it off. She's not under that category. And if she takes off from the beard of a man, she is potter. Halacha ches hasafa. Now we're talking about the mustache. It's on top and right on bottom. The hu seir al gava. Sorry, on the top. Yeah, both of them. Haser shal gava safa yen on top of the top lip, and the little hairs that are on the bottom. coming out of the lower lip. Even though it is mutter, they have not. It's not our custom to shave it off. He could snip off a little bit. So it shouldn't get in the way of his eating and drinking. To do the Friedrich Rebbe cut from the sides of his top lip, the top of the test. Now, Avodas Aser Mesharaguf. What's with shaving other areas of hair in the rest of the body? Keep going base of Shechi's armpits, or base of Erba, puberty here, where in his private parts, it's not prohibited in Atayra. Element of from this is midrabanon. Because this is the woman's practice. Therefore, he gets malchus the rabbanon. If that's specifically the way, the style of women. However, Kadesh Leitaka, that's what Tikkun Nashim, so he shouldn't fall through and do Kimais Hanashim. Makom Shemavir Naseir Hanashim Va'anashim. If it's both of them do it, then Im Heber Ein Makin I say, still sounds with the Yebed, but Ein Makin I say. Mutal Haver Sar Shara Ivar Mispraim B'chol Makim, regardless, this is all Betar, with a razor. But with scissors, it is mutter. Chaber also brings looking in a spiegel in a mirror that may also be a day that's brought that it's dark anashim. Halacha Yud. Now the Rambam is going to continue with other isurim that are also derivatives of Hilchos Avodas Kochavin. Dr. Rambam Halacha Yud. Lois ade isha woman should not dress herself, clothe herself in clothing of a man. Tosim beroisha mitznefesh. She puts the type of turban that a man wears. Or a hat like till bashirya, a panzer. She's like the knights used to wear. Armor. Yes, correct. Or she should shave herself bald like a man. A man shouldn't shave himself or dress like a woman. Colors that she wears, the chalezav and bracelets or necklaces of gold, and it's all based on the custom of that area. Now, if a man, he dressed himself or clothed himself, adorned himself like a woman, if someone picks out white hairs from within black hairs, whether it's from his head, whether it's from his beard, even one hair like it. Why? He has adorned himself in a way that women adorn themselves. If he dyed his hair black to make himself look younger, one white hair that he dyed, like it already gets marked. Now, tumtum badreginos, when we're talking about those that it's a suffix, whether they're male or female, ain't a oitef ki isha. He's not allowed to put on, oitef is I think this is a turban, or wrap himself with clothing like a woman. On the other hand, he's not allowed to shave his head completely like a man. Also can't again. We can't define his chiyuv because it's not for sure this way or the other, and therefore he doesn't get malchus. But he is not allowed to oita. He's not allowed to wrap himself like a woman dresses, and he's not allowed to shave himself like a man. Halacha Yud Beis. Sorry, Yud Aleph. And now we're moving on to Ksoivis Ka Amor B'Torah. We're talking about a person getting an inscription, an inscripted tattoo on his body. Okay? Kaku has notion deeply writing in. But who she yisud up sorry, or who it is? She yisud up sorry. He scrapes into his flesh. He either fills in that with dye, blue dye, or black dye, or any other colors that will be miskayim. This was distinctly a minhag of idol worshippers. They would, so to speak, sign themselves on this way to their like they write on cows. A number. This is the way they inscribe themselves and subscribe to this avodah that he's committed. Any symbol that he writes that will be regardless of the place of the body. As soon as he scraped and he filled in a color, whether it's a man or woman, he gets makas. Now, if he wrote but didn't inscribe it, he just added the color, but he didn't scrape it in. Potter is potter achiyichte vikake. Has to inscribe it in and then put in the dye. Shenemar ksayvis kaka. It's a written type of inscription. But if he's writing, if it was done to him, like in the days of the Holocaust, that they wrote in numbers, you're not, if you're not an active participant, I can't see unless you helped Kadei Maisa in something that could be measured as an action. Like any passive. Now we're moving on to a person that scrapes himself in distress for someone close, someone that passed away. That was also Zakta Rambam. He makes one scratch, someone that passed away. Like it says, do not place on your flesh. Echad koyin, v'echad Yisrael. Whether he's a koyin, the koyin have their own chiyuv. Our koyinim have their own chiyuv in this regard. V'echad Yisrael. Regardless, Sarah Tzrita Achas al Chamesh Mesa. What happens? He scratched one Tzrita, but it was for 5 people that just passed away. A Chamesh Tzrita al Mesa, it scratches 5 times for one person that passed away. Loike Chamesh, he gets lashes 5 unique times. It means whether it's for the amount of people he's scratching, whether it's for the amount of scratches. However, this is providing that he had a straw for each one uniquely to be Chayiv Malchus. Now we're going to move on to Gdida. Interesting is that Gdida is with a Kli, and it's a separate issue that the Torah said. Gdida Srita Achasim, really they're both one. Just as they would scratch themselves out of pain for when something happens, they would hurt themselves and harm themselves in honor of the Avodas Kochavin. They, so to speak, inflicted themselves for in honor of, based on their chiyuv, their statutes. The gamze also Torah is prohibited this as well. The difference is shalameis. It was someone that passed away, and that's why he scratched himself. Bein shasar b'yodeh. Whether he did it by hand, bein shasar b'kli, he's going to get malchus. However, la'avodas Kochavin, if he's doing it in honor or in the name of a specific deity or idol, then being that it falls on the list is good, it's only b'kli. B'kli chayiv malchus, going to chayiv malchus. However, b'yodeh pot. Now, ubechlal azarazu. This is another pirush of loises goyditu, not to form separations and divisions between Yid and different congregations. There shouldn't be two houses, two batei in one city, that each one paskins differently, which creates groupings within the city. Causes tremendous argument and strife, and Shenamar lois is good, lois also agudas do not form different groups and opposing directives. Halachat Ezvav. HaKoyrech Karcha Lameis. Someone that creates a bold spot in his head for someone that passed away, loike. He gets malka. Shenamar is another chiyuv. Loisasimu Karcha Bein Enechem Lameis. Do not place a bold spot between your eyes over someone that died. Now, Echad Yisrael, V'echad Koyin Shesar Talmeis, even though the Koyin also has this Isur, it's going to be the same. One, however, for each bold spot that he's going to place on his head, he's going to be chayiv. Sakarech arba chamish kroches al meis echad. He made 5 bold spots. Let's say he's doing it with a certain sam, a certain poison that he placed at 5 places in his head. He's chayiv for each one. Providing that they gave hasra, he was warned for each one. Now, echad akarech b'yodai oibesam, whether they did it by hand, by plucking out hair, in a way that it's going to remain bold. He dipped his fingers in this remedy, and placed it in 5 places on his head in one shot. At the end of the day, he created 5 bold spots. Obviously, even if he was worn just with one asra, like chamesh, he gets sharekul and achas, and therefore he doesn't need a separate asra for each one. I need to check if these bold spots have to be long term, or even if it's for the time being. Now, v'chayiv al kol. They're specifically alames. Now, b'chayiv al kol haroish kibein einayim. It's not just between your eyes, like in the place it's filmed. The entire head. Shenam al yigruchu karcha beroisham. V'kam ashira karcha k'dei shira meroisha kigris panoi b'lisar. They should be able to see the size of a grease from his of his head without any hair, and the grease is like roughly the size of a dime. Alter Rebbe writes in Hilchos Nida, it's like a piastic. Talking about in their times. Halacha Kazayin. Now hakoreach roishay, or yasoyed b'psarei, whether he caused a bolt spot on his head or scratched himself in his flesh, al beisei shenafal, not for someone that passed away, rather for his house that collapsed, or a ship sunk in the sea. However, he only gets malchus only on the mace. Or if he scratched if someone made a bolt spot on his friend's head, or he inscribed a tattoo in his friend's flesh, and he helps, if both of them do it intentionally, they both get malchus. Echad shoygig ve'echad mezid, and they both did an action. So the one that's shoygig, hamezid, the one that doesn't intentionally, mishneim loiki gets malchus hashoygig, and the one that doesn't unintentionally is potter. Mazel tov, we concluded Hilchos Avodas Kochavin, and looking forward, Be'ez Hashem, one of these days, I'm going to make a trip together, Old Bnei Chabura, as you'll see on the group. Everyone has the opportunity to sign up to go visit a museum. I really hope we're allowed to take pictures there. So we can share with all our virtual members of the Kol HaTorah Kula live Chabura of various statues, various psalim that today don't have the din of Avodah Zarah, but can help us get a vivid understanding of what the Rambam has described to us in these prakim. Mazel tov, mazel tov. Thank you for being with us.